Hello and welcome to your daily cricket show, Cricket Happenings, dear friends and subscribers. On this, what I have in store for you today on a Sunday's Cricket Happening show is the first one day international of the three match series which happened between South Africa and Zimbabwe, where it was a very low scoring affair with Zimbabwe rolled off 117 with Lungi Gidi bowling very well. But Zimbabwe definitely putting up a very good fight. They reduced South Africa to 58 for 4 before Hendricks Klaasen with a cool hand and with some good strokes took them to victory by 5 wickets. So that is one match. And then we have a look at the tour match between Pakistan A versus Australia and the UAE, and where the Marsh brothers got 50s today, and also the Indian board presidents 11 with the West Indies board presidents 11. I thought the West Indies board presidents 11 put up a firm reply in the first tour match with Sunil Ambris shining with a century. So Sunil Ambris probably making his chances brighter for the selection in the first test at Rajkot on 4th of October. But first, let get into the South Africa versus Zimbabwe. Today was the first ODI which was played between Zimbabwe and South Africa at Kimberley. Kimberley, as I said yesterday, a diamond mine, and I was absolutely right on that. Okay, South Africa won the toss and they invited Zimbabwe to bat first. And Zimbabwe, as I said, really struggled, and there was something in it there for the bowlers for sure. If you are willing to hit the deck, you could do something there. And Lungi Gidi was most successful in doing that, as he took four. In my reckoning, he took 3 wickets, but bowled in a very economical spell. As far as the wickets were concerned, if you see, Hamilton Masakadza was a victim of the bowling of Felikwayo. He made 25 of 52 balls with 4 boundaries. It was not a good shot from Masakadza, as there was some width from Felikwayo, and as he wanted to punch it through the offside, Hendricks took the catch. He was gone for 25, but the breakthrough was provided by Gidi first up, as in the he picked up his wicket in the 4th over, where Solomon Meyer was really kept quiet. He was not getting a lot of strike because of Masakadza, but Solomon Meyer was a victim of the bowling of Gidi. Now this was a ball outside the off stump. Meyer went for the drive and he hedged it. Hendricks at first slip got into business, and Solomon Meyer was walking after a duck of 3 balls. Craig Irvine also did not. This was the leg spinner Mulder taking his wicket as he edged the ball, and Klaasen took the catch. In fact, Mulder actually cramped Craig Irvine up, and he was out for 7 of 20. If I'm not wrong, it was 20 deliveries with 1 boundary. So that was Craig Irvine. Brendan Taylor fell to the bowling of Kagiso Rabada. There was an extra bounce from Kagiso Rabada, and he forced Brendan Taylor to have a prod at it, and the ball just snipped away at the last moment. There was some late away swing and outside edge, and second slip was into business. Once again, Reza Hendricks taking the catch, and Brendan Taylor was out for 9, but he potted around for 39 deliveries. And that's the score, and Zimbabwe were very precariously placed at that stage on 53 for 5 in the 20th over. Not good going at all for Zimbabwe. After that, Felikwayo went on to pick up the wicket of Sean Williams, as Sean Williams tried to flick Felikwayo, but he was flicking it across the line, and it squaring up, and it actually straightened. The ball straightened, and he was plumb in front. Sean Williams gone, LBW of Felikwayo, 4 of 5 deliveries, 1-4. Peter Moore was out for 13. Rabada was the one who actually got his wicket. This was a ball which from Rabada which forced Peter Moore to actually go and play at it. and that was the end of Peter Moore. He was caught by Elgar onto his right, a good low catch, and 62 for 6 in the 22nd over. Chigumbura gave some a little of not a ballast, I would say, because of the current situation, but at least Chigumbura was the one in the lower order to make 27 of 37 with 4 boundaries. As he did not play a stroke probably to the full. He probably played it in a very half-hearted manner, and he was a victim of Nigiri for 27. Wellington Masakaja, now this was where Imran Tahir, we all know, he really likes to celebrate, but this was a flipper from Imran Tahir, and Masakaja was going to try for the pull shot, and he was trapped right in front, but there was absolutely no celebration by Imran Tahir. Normally, as you know, he runs all the way down to the boundary, but not today. It didn't happen. 86 for 7, 28th over. It was a sort of a passive Imran Tahir, one could say. And Mahuta himself was making his debut in this match. He's a right-arm leg spinner, and he was facing a leg spinner, and he would have learnt a lot after seeing Imran Tahir bowl. Again, Imran Tahir got the flipper out, and Mahuta was stuck on the back foot, and it was the end of Mahuta. LBW ball tied for 5, or 5 deliveries, 1-4. Jarvis was clean bowled by Nigiri for 8, 15 deliveries, 2-4. Chatara, no doubt not. And the Zimbabwean innings never looked like getting going, and they were bowled out for 117. Rabada, but there were no excuses, even though the pitch was bad. 117 has no excuse. They could have still scored much better than that, and especially considering that they were slowly getting to full strength, with only the exception of Sikandar Raza and Graham Creamer missing from the party. Rabada 8 overs, 2 maidens, 2 for 34. Lungi Giri was the pick of the bowlers. It took the man of the match award, 8.1 overs, 1 maiden, 19 runs and 3 wickets. Mulder, the leg spinner, 6 overs, 1 for 19 was impressive. Philip Wai of 7 overs, 2 minutes, 2 for 22 did his job pretty well. Imran Tahir did his job well, 5 overs, 1 minute, 2 for 23. Now South Africa were given a target of 118 to win from their 50 overs. Aidan Markram and Elgar walked in, and one thought that it's going to be a sort of a breeze for South Africa to get the 118 to win. But let me tell you, Zimbabwe bowlers definitely deserve credit. They came back hard, and they knew that this pitch was, there was something in the pitch for them. And what they very well did, especially Tender Chatara with his pace and bounce, and also being so tall, he generated some extra bounce by hitting the deck hard, and that resulted in first the wicket of Dean Elgar. Dean Elgar was the first to go, and it was a ball which was angled across Elgar by Chatara, was the best bowler today, trying to flick it across the line, and there was a leading edge, and it was the ball actually went to third man region where Peter Moore held the catch. So Dean Elgar was cheaply dismissed. Scott Moore bowled Chatara, 2 of 10 deliveries. That's the first wicket, 13 for 1 in the 4th over, South Africa. Aidan Markram was joined by Reza Hendricks, but Reza Hendricks, I have to say, was defeated by a wonderful delivery from Wellington Masakaja, the right arm offie. I would say it was a beauty delivery. There was a lot of wind in the atmosphere there, wind in the ground, and there was a lot of breeze, and that allowed Masakaja to get the ball drift in with the breeze. It spun very sharply past the outside edge, and Reza Hendricks was onto his forward defense, and he played for the line, but definitely it was the Masakaja's stock delivery, the right arm offie stock delivery, which actually goes in with the arm, the straighter one, and that was the end of Reza Hendricks. So superb delivery. Hendricks gone bowled by Masakaja for 5 of 6 deliveries to 1 boundary, 25 for 2 in the 7th over, and South Africa had already lost 2 wickets here. Markram was doing his good job. He was trying to play himself into some form with some nice strokes there, but Tender Chatara was breathing down the South African batsman's neck by bowling superbly. He was really letting the ball go, and the batsmen were finding it very difficult to force him off the square. As Henrik Klaasen joined Markram. But Markram, after doing a good job of making 27 of 38 deliveries with 5 boundaries, fell a victim to the bowling of Tendai Chatara. Now, Tendai Chatara, as I said, was the best bowler in this for the Zimbabwe today, as this was a ball from Tendai Chatara. It was a bit slower if as regards pace. Markram went for a big swing down the ground, and Chigumbra took an easy catch of the bowling of Chatara. And this time Markram was gone 27 of 38, 5 boundaries. So 40 for 3 in the 10th over, and Zimbabwean bowlers were doing a very good job. They were giving a really stiff fight. They're defending the 117 in a very, very good manner. Henrik Klaasen was looking good. He was stroking the ball pretty freely, as Christian Jonker was actually making his ODI debut from the South African side. Christian Jonker did not last long. He happened to be the maiden ODI wicket for another debutant who took his wicket. It was none other than Brian Mawuta, the right-arm leggy from Zimbabwe, who actually got his maiden wicket in ODIs, as Christian Jonker was attempting a sort of a forceful stroke, but he was never to the pitch of the delivery from Brian Mawuta, and the ball, he hit it straight to mid-wicket, and Jonker was on his way back, and it was made an ODI wicket for the leg spinner. So Brian Mawuta, he was out for 6 of 14 deliveries, 1-4. After that, Klaasen was looking good, as I said, and Klaasen made sure that Zimbabwe, even though South Africa were reduced to 58 for 4, he made sure that he made sure that that South Africa will definitely win with his strokeful 44 of as many balls, with 5 fours and 2 sixes. And we have seen Henrik Klaasen play very aggressively against India, as you remember, in South Africa. And he went for a pull shot, and in the process, because of the slowness of the delivery, he ended up giving a tame catch to wide long on. In fact, Craig Irvine was the one who picked up the catch, and Klaasen was gone. Caught Irvine, bowled Wellington Masakadza 44 of as many balls, 5 fours and 2 sixes. And then finally, it was left to JP Duminy, the captain himself, to take them to victory. He was not out on 16 of 29 deliveries with 2 boundaries. Mulder, the leg spinning all-rounder, was not out 14 of 17 with 2 boundaries, 119 for 5. And finally, victory was South Africa's. So South Africa took a 1-0 lead in the 3-match ODI series. As far as the bowling was concerned from the South Africans, there was no doubt the pick of the bowlers was the tall, gangling Tendai Chatara. 6 overs, 112 runs and 2 wickets. Jarvis, unfortunately, did not really bowl well, and he was a bit costly. 7 overs, no made and none for 36. Wellington Masakadza got that beauty of delivery to Reza Hendricks. 5 overs, 1 made and 226. Mawuta bowled 4 overs, 1 for 24. He's made an ODI wicket. Sean Williams, 4.1 overs, no made none for 9. And Lungi Gidi was named man of the match. So that is as far as Zimbabwe versus South Africa were concerned. Now we look at some 2 tour matches. One is the match which was played in Dubai between Australia and the Pakistani team. Well, Pakistani team yesterday, as you remember, they were 247 for 6. But today it all changed as Pakistan were bowled out, I think, for 278 to my reckoning. I'm going to check that for you, dear fans, regarding the scorecard as to what really happened between Pakistan A and Australia. But one thing I can tell you, that the Australians really did well. They closed at 207 for 2 on the second day, with the Marsh brothers, Mitchell Marsh and Sean Marsh, getting 50s. So Abid Ali, so just talking about the Pakistan innings, who were bowled out for 278. Abid Ali, who really did a very good job as a batsman. He really ground out 81, but today he was out for 85 with 4 boundaries. And Nathan Lyon once again started adding to his tally of 5 wickets, today ending up with 8 wickets. Wahab Riaz was out for 12. He was caught by Marshall Stark. Waqas Masood, the pace bowler, out for 2 to the bowling line. 278 all out. And as I said, Nathan Lyon's bowling figures was made very good rating, 39.1 overs, 5 maidens, 103 runs and 8 wickets. So that was the Pakistan A 200 Pakistan A team 278. Australia in their reply, as I said, they made 207 for 2. Usman Khwaja was out for 36 with 3 boundaries to the bowling of Iftikhar Ahmed. Waqas Maqsood, the left-arm pace bowler, picked up the wicket of Arun Finch for 54 with 7 boundaries. But then the Marsh brothers took them to 207 for 2. Marsh getting a 50 under his belt, not out on 54 with 8 fours at stumps. Mitchell Marsh not out 53 with 5 fours at stumps. 207 for 2. The bowling from the Pakistani bowlers, the Pakistani bowlers, Rahat Ali 11 overs 2 minutes none for 34. Waqas Maqsood was impressive, 13-4, 28 and 1 wicket. Wahab Riaz was wicketless, 12 overs 3 minutes none for 28. Iftikhar Ahmed 29 overs 8 minutes 67 runs and 1 wicket. Asad Shafiq 15 overs 2 minutes none for 43. So that was the match situation as far as Pakistan A and Australia were concerned. Now the other thing, then we talk about the next one, the tour match that happened between the Indian Board Presidents 11 and the West Indies, who are touring India. Now yesterday we were talking about the Indian Board Presidents 11 doing a very good job, but the West Indies were an absolute match for it. Indian Board Presidents 11 declaring the innings closed on the overnight score of 360 for 6, and allowing the West Indies to have some good batting practice here, and they did a wonderful job today of getting a good hit here, as West Indies Brathwaite retired hurt 52 with 9 boundaries. Kiran Powell retired hurt 44, 2 fours, 2 sixes. Shai Hope made 36 with 5 boundaries. Solomon Hetmir was a failure today. He was out for 7. Avesh Khan was in full flight today. Avesh Khan, in fact, all of his victims were LBW and clean bowls. So that really shows Avesh Khan was really bowling at some awesome pace there from Madhya Pradesh. Hetmir 7 was bowled by Avesh Khan. Justin Chase was LBW bowled Avesh Khan for 5. And then Shane Dowditch was out with the spinner Jalaj Saxena for 65. But the man who really started knocking on the doors of West Indies for the first test match, which is going to be starting between India and West Indies at Rajkot on October the 4th, was Sunil Ambrish. He really played well. Look at his knock. He was still there, not out on 114 of 98 deliveries. It included 17 fours and 5 sixes. A marvellous knock from Sunil Ambrish. Jehmar Hamilton made 23, was victim of the bowling of Avesh Khan, LBW. Kimo Pal was LBW bowler Avesh Khan for not. Jemai Wadikan was out for 9 to Saurabh Kumar. Sherman Lewis not out on 8. 366 for 7. And the match, this was the first tour match of the West Indies tour, and it ended in a draw. It was a warm-up match, literally. And if you look at the Indian bowling, M. Prasidh Krishna has been talked off very highly. 11 overs, 1 maiden, none for 39. But Avesh Khan was in some awesome form with his bowling. 17 overs, 5 maidens, 60 runs and 4 wickets. Tremendous bowling from Avesh Khan. IC Parel, another pace bowler, 9 overs, 3 minutes, none for 31. I was just wondering whether IC Parel is the son of the former fast bowler who probably, to my reckoning, he probably played one test match. Subrato Parel was his name, and he was extremely fast, but did not play, probably in my reckoning, I wouldn't really remember, probably played one test match to my reckoning. Well, probably the records will tell it. Basil Thampi, 2 overs, not 14. Saurabh Kumar, the spinner, 29 4, 126 2. Jalaj Saxena, 20 overs, no 1 for 95. And it was all over as far as the first tour match was concerned. Well, dear fans and subscribers, always a pleasure bringing you this daily cricket show of mine, Cricket Happenings. Hope you all enjoyed it. And with the next great broadcast slated for tomorrow, that's on a Monday, it's about time for me to bid you all